Hello, this is Max from Arrowhertz, and this is my Codex Space Marines review. So, the Space Marine Codex has been out for a while, and there's lots of reviews that are out on the internet. But I wanted to make my own, because people watched my Necron review before the Necrons came out, and they enjoyed it. So I'd like to look at the actual books that are out. So, let's start with
Codex Space Marines.
Now this is the current codex of Codex Space Marines. So if you're new to the game, this would be the codex that you would be wanting to get at the moment. A lot of the older, more veteran players of the game aren't big fans of this codex sometimes, because of the way the rules have changed, and the way that it has changed their army.
And that's not good at all. You can't have your army changed like that. That's just not cool.
So, we're going to go over that in a bit, of why your army changing isn't cool, but how the armies have changed through the codexes. And to do that, we're going to need to go back. Back in time.
Like Marty McFly.
And to do that, we're going to have to use some time machine pieces, which I have here with me today. One of them being the Space Marine Codex that was out just before the current one. Now, just like the current one, this one has the Ultramarines on it. It's got Marnius Calgar right on the front. Bitchin'. Right? I mean, like, you put them side by side and you could say it's the same picture. Now, this codex, it was out for a while. It was printed in, let's see, 2004. So it's been out for a pretty good run. But we're going to need to go even farther back as well. And we're going to need to go all the way back to the 3rd edition codex. Sadly, I don't have any of the codexes for them before that. I don't have the Angels of Death codex or anything older than the 3rd editions. But this will do. This is good enough. But you might notice that these aren't Ultramarines. The poster boys of Warhammer 40k. I thought that the Ultramarines were always on the Space Marine codexes, right? I mean, aren't they the poster boys? Aren't they supposed to be there? Matt Ward? No, they're not. Strange that the Crimson Fists of all chapters were the 3rd edition. Wait, maybe it's not. So, let's see how this has evolved over the years.
Let's look at the codexes.
Starting with my favorite.
The 3rd edition
Space Marine Codex. And you might be wondering,
Max, why aren't you just using this camera? I mean, the quality out of it is just that much better.
and I mean, why are you torturing us with this one?
Why don't you just continue to do this? And
Why do you go back and forth instead of allowing us to have...
the nice camera.
Because I'm not a nice person.
No, I'm just kidding.
Actually, it's because I just wanted to make this,
Shut up.
So, let's go into this. Now, sadly, I know, I'm sorry, this isn't scripted. So, it's not going to be perfect. But you know what? Who cares? Who cares? Why not? It's just a review. Just my own look at the codexes and how they've changed. So this is the codex where it was pretty bland. Where vanilla Marines meant vanilla Marines. I could get my Space Wolves Codex or Blood Angels Codex for 3rd edition, but this is the Space Marines Codex, and that's what this is really about. We're not talking about those guys. Fuck those guys. You heard me.
Fuck them.
So let's go into this. Now, in the HQ, we've got the Space Marine Heroes, which has the leader, commander, and force commander. Now, force commander is a term you probably won't hear anymore. It's not going to be in the current codex. It's probably not going to be in the next codex. You know why?
Matt Ward.
No, not Matt Ward. It's just because what the fuck's a force commander? It's the commander of the force. That could be anybody. That could be a fucking sergeant. A force commander. Commanding the force. Then we got the librarian, and we got the chaplain. Now, in these rules, librarians did not come equipped with force weapons and psychic hoods automatically.
What?
No, they didn't. They didn't come with them. But they did come with smite, and that was pretty good. It was an AP2 blast weapon at the strength of a bolter. That's pretty good. That could take down some Terminators. That could take down a lot, actually. That could be killing some in the current rules, let's say. That could be killing some feel no pain guys. They're not going to be getting saves from that. It's pretty good. Now the chaplain back when was the bee's knees. It was the shit. You hear me?
The shit.
I mean, it came with a Crozius Arcanum. That's a power weapon. It came with it for free. It had it automatically. And it has a 4-up invulnerable save. Now, if you wanted your character to have a 4-up invulnerable save, you had to buy him an Iron Halo. Now, the Iron Halo, you could only have one of those per army. You're not allowed to have more than one. In the current rules, you're allowed to... Oh. Caught myself.
Can't go there yet.
Alright, so let's keep going. The command squad, which you could buy, and back when it was pretty good. If you had a command squad, you could buy a librarian, a captain, and a chaplain for the command squad, and it would all count as one HQ choice. And that was awesome. That was something that made the Chaos players cringe. But I'm not going to get into that, because then the Chaos players had all reasons to make the Space Marine players cringe. But either way, that's just reminiscing on the past, which is what this is all about. Either way. So, dreadnoughts. A dreadnought back when was automatically equipped with an assault cannon. Now, that's just awesome. That's not true, but it's awesome. You believed me there for a second, didn't you? But no, you had to choose from a list. It did not come with a weapon automatically. So, you had to decide.
Decisions.
Getting kind of creepy on the other camera there. So, then there was the Space Marine Veterans Squad. Now, the Space Marine Veterans, they costed about 3 points more than an average Space Marine, and they would get another leadership. If you bought them Terminator honors, making them cost 10 points more each, they would get an extra attack. Now the point of veteran Marines back when was to give them the extra attack. And it was to give them the close combat weapons, and to put them into close combat. There was never the intention to take veteran Marines and give them bolters. To have a ranged squad of veterans back when was something that would get you laughed out of wherever you were playing Warhammer with.
Don't take veterans with bolters.
So moving on, in the Codex, we have Assault Marines. Now Assault Marines were pretty expensive, that's what I always thought. It was too expensive for shoving a Marine with a close combat weapon up to somebody, and they were kind of sacrificial. It's still kind of the case though.
Marines. Well, you know your place, Assault Marines. You're going to jump in there and die. That's what you do. That's just what you do. Just admit it.
Bike squadrons. Now I didn't have bikes when I played back in 3rd edition.
Bikes haven't really changed since 3rd edition from what I know, and they're the exact same. Bikes. Moving on. Scout bikes. Now, if you're new to the game, you might see scout bikes being something that's very interesting to get because of their weapons. They didn't have the grenade launchers attached to their bikes back then. They have not had that ever until now. Wait, I'm getting ahead of myself. So, that's scout bikes. Then there's the different types of land speeder squadrons. You could have the regular land speeder squadron.
You could have a land speeder tornado squadron or a land speeder typhoon squadron. You couldn't intermix, intermingle, cross the land speeders. It's not allowed. It was Devastator squads.
Yep. The Predator Annihilator and the Predator Destructor.
Now those are just two different ways of equipping the Predator that you would see today. The Predator is much more flexible in its options than it was under the previous establishment.
That's right, you heard me, Bush. Wait, this game's from the UK. So, then there's the Vindicator. Never used...
So, you know what, I'm just going to be honest. I don't know. I'm going to skip it. The Land Raider. I hate Land Raiders. Because it's just a big shoot me sign. You know?
Come on, shoot me, yeah, Land Raider.
It's got twin link las cannons. So it gets 2 shots with them. Technically. I mean, it gets to re-roll them, but it gets 2 shots. So it can hurt 2 things or 1 thing. Like a vehicle. Oh, but it's got a heavy bolter.
Because heavy bolters make it into most vehicles that people have nowadays. Yeah. No.
I prefer the Crusader, but that's not in this book. To use the Crusader back in 3rd edition, you had to have the Codex Armageddon. And to use the Black Templars Land Raider Crusader rules, which weren't bad. And then there's the Whirlwind, which, looking at the Whirlwind, it's
only got one shot compared to nowadays.
What? Oh, can't talk about that. But it's got a shot that will take down most infantry. It will take down scouts. It will take down most orcs. This will take down Eldar.
This would take down Tyranids.
Now the rest of the book is explaining tactics, how to play with the Marines, the different way the Marines look, how to paint the Marines, how to make your Marines look good. I mean,
You have to have something like that in the book to try and
make your customer be happy with what they're buying. You don't want them to be unhappy with what they're buying, or displeased with their work on what they've done, so that way they'll have to buy more to improve. You want them to be happy with what they have on the first go, right?
Right?
You know what was something I really liked about this book? Now, I mean, this book, you could probably find this on PDF somewhere on the internet. So if you do, check this out. This is great. The other codexes today, you'll never see this. In the Space Marine Codex, it shows you how to make terrain. It shows you how to make terrain for your game. That would work for your Space Marines, or for anything. That's pretty wicked.
You don't see that in the other codexes, do you?
You don't see that at all. It even shows how to paint vehicles in this box. Look at that. Isn't there a whole book that GW is selling to teach you how to paint a Space Marine? Or how to paint a vehicle? When those are just 2 pages in this book. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Now this is something the new players might not be aware of unless they pick up an older army's codex. The war gear section. I bet a tingling feeling has gone down all of the veteran players that are dusting themselves off. And they're all probably in a little bit of enjoyment, reminiscing of the war gear section. Being able to select things. Being able to customize a character. Now the special characters in this book were pretty limited compared to today. But I don't want to get ahead of myself. We have Marneus Calgar.
But a lot of you are probably going to be saying, no, duh, Marneus Calgar, of course, he's probably the first one. Well, you're right, he is the first one. Well, let's get him out of the way then. He's Marneus Calgar. We've got Chief Librarian Tigurus, or Tigurius.
I have no idea how to pronounce this guy's name, I'll be completely honest. You can argue about it below in the comments. Whichever one wins is the one the way it's pronounced.
I'll leave it up to you. The power is yours.
We've got Captain Cortez of the Crimson Fists. Captain Cortez. And the Black Templars Emperor's Champion.
Who remembers the days of having an Emperor's Champion in your Imperial Fist army? That was pretty wicked, wasn't it?
The Salamander's Chaplain Xavier.
Whatever happened to this character? Where's Xavier? Who the hell is Xavier?
And Sergeant Lysander of the Imperial Fists. He's a veteran. Ever wanted to know what Lysander looked like in his youth? Well, I'm not going to show you and have it, or let you have an easy time. There was a special scenario for Space Marines in the back of the book. Why aren't there special scenarios in the newer codexes? This codex, if I remember when I picked mine up originally, cost me about $20 Canadian. Now that was when I was about 14. And the other camera just died on me. So you know what that means.
I'll be back, Benny.